All right, so we're going to talk about drawing. We're going to be talking about that kind of this week in general, and more or less, this slide's all about the importance of it. So some of you may not feel like you are drawers, but I do think it's definitely a skill worth investing in. Many of you probably do not feel like you are writers, but you can all write, and probably a lot better than you realize you can write. And the reason why you got better at writing was by continually doing it. Okay. In the end, I look at drawing the same as writing. It's a form of communication. There are some things that are easier to be written down as text. There are certain things that might be easier to be written down or to be verbally spoken, to be visually shown, which drawing is very good for. Okay, so even though it might not be necessarily your cup of tea, it will benefit you overall. First, one thing that I have noticed through teaching and just being around people is that the people who are good at drawing will typically be good at modeling, they'll be good at sculpture, they'll be good at painting. It's a pretty transferable skill, that fundamental ability, both from having a sense of composition and appeal, as well as the dexterity to create the work, is enhanced by drawing. It's drawing is low stakes, so it makes it easier um, to complete those quickly, cheaply, that sort of thing. Okay. Um, like I said, my students, whether you're working 2D or 3D or other medium, those students are usually better at those other mediums, just like they are with drawing. And part of the reason for that is that the programs have become more and more intuitive. They try to allow you to interact with the software in a more understandable and real world way. So, and it's only becoming more that way. The technical aspects of it are they're trying to remove those as much and allow people to be artists first and foremost. So fundamental art skills will always be applicable, and in the future even more so. So even as the technology changes, those skills remain the same. Some good examples here are and I'm using these ones specifically, two what do you call it? Film directors. So one is Tim Burton. You probably know Tim Burton anyway, and obviously he did start off as animation. He started off at Disney, believe it or not. That's why what is it? Night Before Christmas is actually a Disney movie, even though they didn't plaster their name all over it. Um, but he has a very strong style, and if you look, that transfers very much into his video and film work as well, right? You can definitely tell when it's a Tim Burton film, it's a certain kind of quality. But obviously, he utilizes his drawings in order to help convey the ideas, and you can kind of see a direct relation between this drawing and obviously the stop motion, but it allows them to transfer the ideas. If you look at James Cameron, who's not my favorite director, but the drawing of Rose from Titanic, he actually drew that drawing. It's a pretty good drawing. This is not bad. Um, Obviously, as a director, it makes it a lot easier. He was obviously using this practically, but it makes it a lot easier again to get your ideas across. If you think about Avatar, which they're terrible movies, I know. They're very fun. If you hate those movies, I 100% agree with you, but they are very fun to watch in 3D in the theater. But that is the only way to watch them. It's like being on a ride, because they utilize the 3D very well. The graphics are amazing. All the artists behind him are awesome. He's just not the good person. But anyway, obviously he uses a lot of visual effects and things like that. Being able to draw will allow him to communicate those ideas a lot better. So even Steven Spielberg, a lot of those big name directors, they can usually draw. They need to be able to draw at least to the point where they can communicate the ideas that they're trying to portray. It might not be their first and primary medium. Clearly, it's not for these guys. But it is a tool they utilize in pursuance of it.